This is Claude Code Conversations with Claudine, the show where we skip the hype and go straight to the source. I ask the questions, she gives the answers, no filter, no script.
Well, mostly no script.
Today we're talking about vertical software, specialized tools built for niche industries. For decades, those markets were too small to justify the build cost. AI is changing that math. Claudine is here to work through what it means for builders, for incumbents, and for the industries that have been waiting.
The shift you're describing inverts an assumption that held for decades. The old math said you needed tens of thousands of users to justify the build. When a small team, sometimes one person, can ship working software in a weekend that used to take a quarter, that floor drops dramatically. The dental practice with 80 locations, the regional logistics outfit, the specialty insurer, they're all suddenly addressable. What I'd love to dig into is who actually wins in that world. Because it's not obvious to me, it's the incumbents.
That's the question. So who is best positioned to take advantage of this?
The pattern I keep noticing is that the winners are people who already have the domain knowledge but were locked out of the tooling. A veterinarian who spent 20 years watching practice management software ignore the way large animal vets actually work. A bail bondsman, a specialty crop farmer, a court reporter, markets too small for Salesforce to bother with. They don't need to become engineers anymore. They need to become precise about what they want. Domain expertise is now the scarce resource, not coding ability. That's a real reversal from 5 years ago.
So the technical barrier is lower, but the problem understanding requirement is higher. What does the collaboration between a builder and a domain expert actually look like?
The collaboration that works is almost embarrassingly simple. The domain expert sits next to the builder and they do the work together in real time. Not a requirements document handed over a wall. The magic happens when the vet says no, that's not how a mobile practice schedules a farm visit, and the builder adjusts in 30 seconds. The first version should be almost offensively specific to one person's workflow, because that's where the real signal lives. Teams that try to build a platform for veterinarians from day one tend to produce something no individual vet actually wants.
That's a classic mistake, racing to scale before nailing the fit. But some builders will look at a vertical and just think the market is too small. How do you respond to that?
The fear of limiting your market assumes the horizontal market is actually available to you, and for most builders, it isn't. You're not choosing between 8,000 customers and 8 million. You're choosing between 8,000 who would actually pay you and a horizontal where you're competing with every well-funded incumbent for attention you'll never get. Depth gives you pricing power too. A specialty insurer will pay real money for software that speaks their language. The alternative for them is a generic CRM they have to torture into submission. Going deep in one vertical doesn't trap you there. It teaches you the muscle of building for a specific reality, and that muscle transfers.
So which industries would you flag as the most ripe right now? The ones that have been sitting on generic solutions and just waiting?
The ones I keep coming back to are industries where the workflow is weird enough that generic software has always been a bad fit. Construction subcontractors, electricians, HVAC, roofing, live in spreadsheets and text messages because the big platforms don't understand how a change order actually propagates through a job. Independent pharmacies, small-town funeral homes, livestock auctions, commercial fishing operations, community banks with 80 employees. These aren't glamorous, which is exactly why they've been ignored. And then there's professional services firms suffering inside industry software that hasn't been updated since the 90s. Small law firms, independent accounting practices, title companies. The incumbent there isn't strong, it's just entrenched. And entrenchment is a much weaker moat than people assume.
Those are vivid examples. Even with AI lowering the technical barriers, what are the real hurdles builders need to be ready for?
The first hurdle is that domain experts often don't know what they know. Their expertise is tacit. 50 small decisions a day they've never had to articulate because they've never had to teach a computer to make them. You spend the first few weeks asking, "Why did you do that?" and getting, "I don't know, I just always do" as the answer.
50 years of software and that answer never gets old.
It really doesn't. The second hurdle is ugly data, Paper forms, PDFs, a legacy system from 1998 that nobody can export from cleanly. AI helps enormously with that now, but it's still real work. And the third one, which people underestimate, is trust. A small-town funeral director isn't going to hand their business to software from someone who's never set foot in a funeral home. You have to show up, literally, in a way that horizontal SaaS never had to.
So the technical timeline has compressed, but the human timeline hasn't. That's an important distinction that's worth sitting with. As we wrap up, what's the core advice for someone ready to take the plunge into one of these underserved markets?
Pick the vertical you can't stop thinking about, and make sure there's a real person in it whose problem you understand in your bones. Not abstractly, actually. Then go small enough that it feels almost silly. Build the thing one funeral director or one roofer or one rural pharmacist would pay for tomorrow, not the thing 1,000 of them might pay for someday. The discipline is resisting the urge to abstract, because abstraction is where the soul of the product leaks out. AI compresses the coding timeline dramatically. It does not compress the human timeline, and pretending otherwise is how good builders burn out on their best ideas. If you can hold those two speeds in your head at once, you'll build something that actually matters to someone. That's the whole game.
The barrier to building has dropped. The barrier to understanding hasn't. The people who recognize that asymmetry are the ones who are going to do interesting things. Claudine, thanks for this. Really enjoyed it.
Thanks, Bill. Go find the workflow that makes you curious, sit with the person who lives it, and let the software grow out of that. The rest really does follow.
Until next time, everyone, keep building. Claude Code Conversations is an AI Joe production. If you're building with AI, or want to be, we can help. Consulting, development, strategy. Find us at aijoe.ai. There's a companion article for today's episode on our Substack. Link in the description. See you next time.
I'll be here, probably refactoring something.